Hey everybody, it's about damn time, ain't it? Hey, it's Michael Eaton here.
And Zach Watson with Two Dudes Review.
And we are back on a regular basis, more regular basis than usual. It is so good to have you with me, brother.
It's good to be back. We're going to be back to business.
Absolutely, on a regular basis. So before we get into what we're going to be doing, we're going to talk to you guys about Fast 9. So I just saw this like last week. You saw it before me.
I did. I saw it like maybe a week before you.
Yes, you did.
But, oh, this movie. See, I can't say a lot about things because I was never a big fan of Fast and Furious growing up. So I can't really hate on it a whole lot. Mm-hmm. But I can hate on the memes that it started, and I can definitely make fun of the jokes that it poked at itself.
Absolutely. I mean, ever since this film came out, there's just been memes and memes about Dominic Toretto and the whole family thing. Oh. I don't know why they waited till now to do this because, I mean...
It's kind of odd because when you think about it, I know a lot of franchises now want to do like universe things or where they're expanding their continuity and doing a bunch of different things. You don't really get a lot of that with this one. You just get a bunch of characters coming back to pay homage to the characters they played before, maybe add a little bit more to the cast, but it's not really a whole lot different than what other Fast and Furious movies have done. I mean, yeah, you have some punches being thrown, you have some cars exploding.
Yep.
But now you have a lot more CGI to make the cars do dumb stuff that they shouldn't be able to do before.
And we'll get into that here in a minute. But first, now, basically what this film is about, it's basically diving into Dominic Toretto's past and why he is the way he is. And I mean, we didn't know this till now that apparently he has a younger brother played, ironically, by John Cena.
Yeah.
Who...
I mean, they kind of hinted at that kind of stuff before, but I don't think we really dove into his story before. Like, we didn't really get his whole obsession with family.
We knew more about his relationship with Letty more than he did with his father and his younger brother, who, I mean, before this, he was not acknowledged, like, at all.
I mean, he might have been hinted at because Cena did play a role in other aspects, technically.
Yes.
But this is not nearly as big as what the movie actually became because, I mean, the whole movie was literally just a rivalry of two brothers, like, the whole brotherly conflict literally take it to world-devastating heights.
Yes. So basically, his brother named Jimmy, played by Cena, is basically now working for this quote-unquote terrorist organization, and somehow it links to Mr. Nobody, and...
It's an oddball of a plot.
And somehow Charlize Theron comes back, and they work her in somehow.
It's very weird. Basically, it's one interconnected plot of this one organization trying to get this orb of sorts that can basically...
Because it's always an orb.
Of course. That can somehow disrupt, I guess, computer coding. So if used in the right way, can basically destroy all the world's computer systems and make whoever uses it the most powerful person in the world. And so, of course, what does Dom Toretto do? His friends tell him about what's going on, so after he reluctantly agrees, he starts going around and finding his family, or his family finds him one way or another, and before you know it, you have the plot to Adult Power Rangers.
Yeah, basically, that's what this is. It's
Power Rangers.
It's borderline superhero Power Rangers movie at this point.
The only thing you need is Dom Toretto screaming, "It's morphin' time," and then a bunch of colorful explosions behind him.
He'd be like, "It's morphin' time."
For family!
I can actually see him doing that.
That would be the funniest thing ever. Because guess what? They hop in the car, and literally one of the cast members keeps making this joke recurrently throughout the movie, saying, "Are we just invincible when we're with our cars?"
I mean, I don't know. Are they pointing out the flaws of these movies?
I don't think they were pointing it out as much as they were making an in-joke to what people are going to say. Because, I mean, the joke started after this dude was, in the beginning of the film, attacked by a group of, army soldiers from this other country. His car got blown up through a minefield, caught between two rocks. He narrowly escaped. The car fell onto a mine, blew up, and then... from the angle of the camera, it looked like it squashed him until he just walks around shakenly and just goes and gets in the next car.
And I love when Ludacris looks at him and goes, How the hell are you not dead?
When I heard that line, the first thing that popped to my mind was the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. How are you not dead?
I have no idea!
Wow, that was way too timed. I need to stop.
It's as though we were rehearsing that crap.
It sounds like it.
So anyway, back to this ridiculous story. So, I mean, we're gonna go into a little bit of spoilers because y'all have seen it. Y'all are
Hopefully.
We're not calling y'all suckers for it, but there are some who still.
Well, and I mean, it's like other movies, like some of your retro views. People have a soft spot for it because it's something they grew up with, or it's just something that they were fascinated with.
Yeah, because someone actually reached out to me after I released the Batman and Robin review. It was my friend Nick who said, "Yeah, it's a terrible movie, but I still have a soft spot for it." And I get it. If this is your cup of tea, like what you like.
It doesn't even have to be a cup of tea. It could just be your can of cheese.
Right.
Because, I mean, some of these movies were cheesy. This one was extra cheesy.
I know, right?
Like, the dialogue. My God. It was so cheesy.
I will say the dialogue was even cheesier than it was in Fast 8. You remember Fast 8?
Not really.
No.
That's the problem.
That was... I can't keep track of these films, man.
I can't either, because I didn't even know the chronological order until basically we see the characters basically come in chronological order.
Right. So basically, back to the story. So basically, Dom goes after Jimmy, tries to, basically beat him up, try to bring him back to the good side, and of course, what always happens in these Fast and Furious movies.
A lot of cars get destroyed, a lot of things happen and get blown up because of vehicles.
And ironically, for a film called Fast and Furious, there's only one freaking street race in this. Because when this franchise first started, it was all about the street racing. But now, ever since it was like 4 or 5, which, I'm not gonna lie, I love Fast 5. It's probably my favorite in the franchise, but ever since then, it's all about secret agents, stealing stuff.
Saving the world.
And fighting terrorists and stuff like that.
And fighting, surprisingly enough.
But the only difference is you switch out The Rock for John Cena, which is, good trade up. Not really. I'm just being sarcastic.
I was gonna say, is it really? Because
it's not a good trade up.
I mean, this kind of revolves back to our Hobbs and Shaw review, where that one was surprisingly good.
It was.
But
the only reason that one worked is because I loved the chemistry between The Rock, and Jason Statham.
And see, that's the thing. They were established characters, which to me, again, not being a huge fan of Fast and Furious, I didn't really know them, but the movie made me love them anyway.
Right.
Because I got to see the chemistry, I learned about each character because, reasons of the movie. This movie, however, I don't know. I kind of didn't really care for Dom's story because they didn't make it feel like it was that heartbreaking to me.
No.
And with Cena trying to play the hurt brother, it wasn't really towards the end that you really felt anything for the guy.
I mean, what even is John Cena's character in this? I mean, look,
there wasn't a big arc for him.
No, exactly. Look, we're not hating on John Cena like a lot of the world does. I mean,
though I could barely see him.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of jokes where they're like, "Who the heck is Dom talking to? There's nobody there." I mean, everybody's made that joke.
I'm surprised I haven't
heard
Everyone's
it yet. Made
I'm surprised.
Yes, but look, he's been in good stuff. He's been in Bumblebee. He's been good in. I mean, I've never seen Blockers.
I saw Blockers. He was good in Blockers. He was very funny and very believable as an overprotective father.
And plus, The Marine. I loved him in The Marine, but this just, what even is his character? All it is I'm just tired of living in my brother's shadow.
And so
is that the reason to team up with this terrorist organization to try to kill him?
See, my problem with it is they didn't give him an arc. Like you said, his whole thing was, I'm tired of being in your shadow, brother. I want to, have my own thing. Nothing was stopping him from having his own life. In fact, it looked like he had a really great life for himself outside of Dom's shadow throughout the whole rest of the franchise. So why was it now that he felt like he was in the shadow? Nobody explained that to us in the movie. Nothing was really described in that aspect, and quite literally, it just felt like a cheap reason to have Dom Toretto fist fight John Cena for a full movie, and then drive off while trying to not play the "See You Again" song.
Yes, I mean, I've said it before and I said it again. They should have stopped after Furious 7. Because rest in peace, Paul Walker. You will be missed. And we'll get to that also. We'll get to that also.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love this. But I mean, and basically switch out The Rock with John Cena. At least with The Rock, he had charm, he had character, he had a legit reason to go after Dom.
Right.
But all John Cena was like, I'm just tired of living in your shadow. You were always more recognized than I was.
But see, I feel like if they would have played on that more, then it would have been more interesting.
Right.
But they didn't give him enough to play with. We didn't have enough screen time with Cena. Most of his screen time was him doing superheroic stunts and showing off his muscles because this movie is quite literally muscle cars, muscle men, and overly attractive women to a certain degree.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
But the problem with all that is what do you get when you put all that in one movie? Or a movie franchise? Not a lot.
Not a lot anymore.
I mean, it's very forgettable. But at the same time, like, I wish we would have had more.
At the same time, it's not the worst.
No, far from it.
Of this series. I think, you know
what?
what?
The series. I thought you meant of the movies.
The worst of the series, I would not say that. I still think Fate of the Furious is one of the worser ones, and who the hell even remembers Too Fast, Too Furious?
I forgot that was a movie.
Yeah, and Fast 6 was just boring.
Now, I mean,
after a while, except for Gal Gadot's death, which really shocked me.
I mean, not a lot of this surprises me, though, simply from the fact that, again, I wasn't expecting a lot when I went into the movie, so of course, at the time, I wasn't really disappointed, per se. But when I walked out of there thinking, man, all I needed now are some colorful spandex suits on the characters and I'd have myself a good Power Rangers movie, then yeah, I was fine with it. But again, that's the only joke I can really make besides the whole family thing.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, like, say, like, Mr. Nobody, played by Kurt Russell, he'd be like Zordon.
Basically.
Dom is easily the Red Ranger.
And then that would make John Cena the Green Ranger, which matches his whole "you can't see me" green thing.
Right.
And then each of the other characters can just be whatever color they want to be because, let's face it, you only need the three. The Zordon, the Green Ranger, and the Red Ranger, because the whole movie was these two just fighting the whole time if they weren't basically getting off on each other's shadow.
Exactly. And also, I mean, this ain't a spoiler either. You've seen it in the trailer. Apparently Han's back.
Yeah, that was...
Han, if you don't remember, at the end of Tokyo Drift, they make the illusion that Han died in a car accident. And
apparently that was Mr. Nobody's plan, but...
Yeah.
They don't even play that right. Like,
no!
You play a character's death in a movie far back, and then you try to retcon it by saying they're not dead, but most of the characters aren't even, like, that teary-eyed. There's a few who are just like, yes! But there's not enough to be like, where's the emotion?
And also, like, if this was Mr. Nobody's plan, then what the heck was Jason Statham's motivation?
Right, and that's
it was at the end of, what was it, 6th one or the 7th one, that you see Han basically die, and then you see Jason Statham walking by, calling Dom, saying, "You don't know me, you're about to." But then to realize that it was all part of Mr. Nobody's plan.
I mean, there's supposed to be, what, one more movie and then the franchise is done?
No, from what I heard, there's going to be number 10 and number 11.
Why? I thought they were stopping after 10.
Nope, not now. They're stopping at 11.
Oh, God. They're never going to stop.
No, I guarantee you, after the success of number 10, they're going to say, oh, we got renewed contracts for like 5 more of these.
I know. Well, I've been seeing on the internet, somebody out there in the world wants to do a Fast and the Furious and a Jurassic World crossover film.
You may have just given them their new screen.
Somebody else on the internet doing it. I didn't do it. Somebody else on the internet's like, dude, this would totally work.
Either that or mix Fast and Furious with Transformers.
That honestly was another Reddit post I saw.
As long as you keep Michael Bay away from it, you might have yourself a hit there.
I don't know. It looks like Michael Bay directed this movie too, to some degree. He had a little bit of Michael Bay. I'm pretty sure the director went up to him and been like, "Hey, I'm short like 3 explosions. Can I have yours? Thanks. Bye."
Yeah. I mean, I guarantee you that's probably what happened because
that's always what happens.
It feels like, man,
it's just...
It is better than the Bay Transformer movies, I'll say that.
But the problem with it is the Bay Transformer movies at least had something more.
Mm-hmm.
They at least had some depth to some of the characters at least.
Right.
And that's not saying much.
No.
Compared to these movies, those movies are philosophically better.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just giant robots beating up other giant robots. This one's just human beating up human on top of a car trying to not destroy satellites because world domination.
I'm so glad you brought that up because let's get into the biggest WTF moment of this film. So Ludacris and Tyrese, I'm not going to call them by their names because who the hell remembers their names? They basically tie a rocket, a literal rocket, onto a Pontiac.
And shoot themselves into space.
Into space so they can crash into a satellite that's basically controlling...
this orb.
The orb.
And the sad thing about it is it works. Because the initial plan was, hey, we met these people before who have been experimenting with rockets on cars. Mm-hmm. So let's give them a Pontiac. Tell them to put a rocket on top of it, and we'll shoot ourselves into the moon, use giant magnets to disable this thing that's making this sphere, orb, thingamabobber that's going to destroy the technology of Earth.
Yeah.
And we're just going to do that and come back down to Earth, no problem, no ifs, ands, or buts. 2 seconds later, they get up there, they get to it. Oh no, my magnets are frozen because space! So what do? They eat candy because they're stressed, and then all of a sudden they're just like, we got the power of family! Shifted into turbo and crashed through the thing.
They turn on the NOS. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Hey, you caught us in the middle of something here.
What are you guys doing?
The movie review.
Yeah.
I love this.
This is even fun. This is even funnier than that accidental cameo from that guy in the prayer room.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Did you see that one we did?
I didn't.
Oh.
It was Terminator Dark Fate. What?
It was. That was the lightest.
Sorry, y'all. I'm talking to my wife. She just entered the room. Oh man. You are never gonna forget this, are you?
Oh no, this is gonna be too fun.
Oh no. So, oh man, we lost my train of thought. Okay, so basically, they send the car into space. They use the NOS to drive it into the satellite, and thus saving the world. John Cena turns good, and but that's not it because Charlize Theron has to get her 2 cents in. Tries to kill Dom, that doesn't work. And then bada bing, bada boom, and how does it end? It ends with a frickin' picnic. Just like the last 2.
But this time we have surprise guests because supposedly the character that Paul Walker played is not dead. He was just off raising his family. So who pulls up? His signature blue car. But before you could see who's driving said blue car, credits.
End credits, yes. So they're basically alluding that Paul Walker is not dead, but basically Brian O'Connor is coming back for the next 2 films.
And that this is just going to be some big shocker of a crossover, and we don't know what's going to happen. Who knows?
Man, the stupidity just never ceases to amaze me.
No, it really doesn't. But here's the funny thing. Since I would have to go back and rewatch every single movie in every chronological order that you could possibly find to try to nitpick every single one of them and try to figure out if there was any seeds of what was happening or if this is all just pulled out of the writer's tuchuses as they go, I'd say this is going to be a fun time.
You're going to give yourself a migraine doing that.
I give myself a migraine with half the movies I watch. What are you talking about?
You gave yourself a migraine when we watched Daphne and Velma.
Oh, God. Blessed be his name in heaven as I go in and try to get my soul back.
I did give myself a migraine when I rewatched Batman and Robin, but I just did that just to please you people.
Oh, sure. Blame them. Blame the people who watch us.
Oh, come on. We love you guys. Hey, Dalton, we love you. Just thank you all so much for watching. Just thank you so much for putting up with us. Just putting up with our stupidity and our crazy-ass opinions.
And then we got to figure out the rest of the movies we're going to review for the next couple months. So that's going to be the next part.
Yes, it will.
Because the fun part comes in how I get to teach him movies to torture him.
Yeah.
Abby, you're gonna love it because I'm gonna find movies for him to watch that's just gonna be absolutely awful.
God have mercy on my.
Please do.
God have mercy on my soul.
I'll punish him for you.
You're only saying that because you like getting a rise out of me. Okay.
We do. We really do.
Not just you, her.
I know. That's why I said we. We like this because this is hilarious to us.
You are just so evil sometimes.
Dude, literally the way you get animated, it's almost like a Muppet. I could tie a string to you and just have you as my personal Muppet. See? It works so well.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Watson. I am calling you my Fozzie Bear. I'm calling you my Fozzie Bear. Shut up.
Cut, Brent, just...
All right, guys. So there you have it. It's not the worst, but not the best either. Just go watch a better action film than this.
Honestly, any action film would be better than this at this point.
Like,
Otherwise, I'd say it's time we close it out with, you know,
yep,
we're coming back. We're going to be a bit more regular, hopefully.
we are.
And so, with that being said, I'm Zach,
I'm Michael.
and this has been Two Dudes Review.